Hello, this is Science by Travis, and this is my solar system foldable. I use this every year when I teach the solar system, the planets and the Galilean moons. This is a really good foldable because it fits onto one journal page. It doesn't look like much at first, but it actually opens up to a whole lot more. So first off, how is this made? It's two pieces of legal paper printed front and back. The edges are trimmed off that legal paper, and then they're folded up into 4 sections. And once they're folded up, they can be glued side by side, and then it fits onto one page in the journal. So what's in this? First off, you've got the inner planets and properties of the inner planets on this side, properties of the outer planets that students have to write in on this side. Students have to name the 5 dwarf planets and what makes a dwarf planet a dwarf planet. And then, of course, you've got the other objects of the solar system, meteoroids, asteroids, and comets. The left part will fold in to reveal the sun, and students have to write in facts about the sun and answer some questions about the sun, like what actually goes on inside of the sun, which is fusion, and a couple of other questions down here that apply to what the sun does. Okay, so this part is, of course, period of rotation and revolution. Students have these illustrations here to compare the two, and they also have to define what the two are, because it's not always the illustration that they have to go off of. They sometimes have to know what it is just by their definition. Okay, so this closes up back like it was, and now it opens up for the inner planets. And this works out really well because since there's 4 inner planets and there's only 4 sections to go off of, they fit just like this. And everything as far as the mass and diameter of all the other planets are compared to the Earth in a percentage. For example, like Venus, planet to Earth mass in percentage, 81.5% in comparison to the Earth, the Earth's mass. Planet to Earth diameter, 95% in comparison to the Earth's diameter. And after that, every planet, the students have to write down the distance from the sun, the period of rotation, period of revolution, number of moons, surface temperature, and also unique features of that planet. And these illustrations are really good illustrations of the planets because there's no background, for one, that wastes ink. And they may be computer done, but they're very realistic. You can definitely tell that this is Mars because you've got the ice cap at the top, and you've got the deserts of Mars, and it's really good coloring. You can definitely tell that's Earth because you can see North America, and you can see a hurricane going, and some other cloud. You can see some cloud formations. You can definitely tell that's Venus because of it just looks like a bunch of clouds. And plus the coloring. You can tell that's Mercury because it's barren, and you can see some of the cratering that Mercury has. So they're really good illustrations, and the students can recognize them really easily. So this closes up, and now let's take a look at the outer planets. This opens up. Oops. We can get it situated. Okay, so this opens up to the right, and now you've got the outer planets. And these illustrations are really good ones. You can definitely tell which one is which based on the coloring and the way that they're drawn out. You can definitely see Jupiter's red spot. You can see the rings of Saturn. Uranus is probably the most boring one, but I mean, it's pretty pretty easily identified by the way that it looks. And then, of course, Neptune and its blue spot. Okay, so all of these planets have the same facts that they have to students have to identify. And then Each one of these has unique features that students have to write down. And the nice thing is about this whole fold out is that they're all in order, and they can compare one planet to the next without having to flip through flashcards or open up one foldable to the next. It's all there laid out right in front of them. And I actually have a PowerPoint that goes along with this, and it covers each one of these facts and also unique features of the planet. But if you don't want to use the PowerPoint that I have, students can definitely get online and find a resource that presents all this stuff to them. They can research it, they can find it in their textbook and put this stuff down. Or if you have your own lecture, you can use that, and it will work out just fine. So this all closes back up, but there's something else left on the right. The right side will open to the left like this, and then you've got the Galilean moons. And it's got a short story about Galileo and how he discovered the four largest moons of Jupiter. And if you look where my finger is, there's actually a YouTube URL address, and if the students look that up, they can actually see an animation of Galileo and how it presents the story of how Galileo discovered the moons. And it's actually more entertaining than reading this, but this is just good for for them to have in their journal. And then last, you've got the moon. You've got the different phases of the moon presented, and you've got some basic facts of the moon. And they're in comparison to the Earth, like the mass of the moon compared to the Earth, the volume of the moon compared to the Earth, the distance from the Earth, period of rotation and period of revolution. And the illustration of the moon is really good, with no background to waste ink, and you can definitely tell that that's the moon. Okay, so fold this back the way it was, and that's the solar system foldable. I hope you like it. If you do, check it out in my store, and you can see it there. Follow my store for updates, new products, and sales. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.